General elections to the Legislative Assembly of Bihar shall be conducted in 3 phases. In first phase, 71 assembly constituencies in 16 districts, including most of the LWE districts, will go for poll. It will be held in approximately 31,000 polling stations. In second phase, 94 assembly constituencies in 17 districts will go for poll. It will have approximately 42,000 polling stations. In third phase, 78 assembly constituencies in 15 districts will go for poll. It will have approximately 15 districts. Third phase, 78 assembly constituencies in 15 districts will go for poll. It will have approximately 33.5 thousand polling stations. 10 districts will have 2 phases of elections for logistical reasons. 28 districts will have single phase elections. Patna and Bhagalpur districts will have elections in the first as well as second phase. 8 districts, namely Darbhanga, Madhubani, Purba Champaran, Paschim Champaran, Muzaffarpur, Vaishali, Samastipur and Sitamarhi will have elections in second and third phases. 8 districts, namely Darbhanga, Madhubani, Purba Champaran, Paschim Champaran, Muzaffarpur, Vaishali, Samastipur and Sitamarhi will have elections in second and third phases. So now, without further, keeping you in more suspense, issue of notification. First phase, 1st October. Am I clear? Last date of nomination, now I am reading only first phase, right? When I come to second phase, I will mention that. First phase, issue of notification, 1st October. Last date of notification, 8th October. Is it right? Scrutiny of nominations, 9th October. Is it clear? Last date of withdrawal of candidature, 12th October. Date of poll, 28th October. Counting of votes, 10th November, but that will be for all the phases, right? With your permission, 10th November. Can I now go to second phase, please? You there? Okay. Issue of notification, 9th October. Last date of nomination, 16th October. Whenever you want me to repeat, I will repeat, gladly repeat. Scrutiny of nomination, 17th October. Last date of withdrawal of candidature, 19th October. Date of poll, 3rd November. Counting, as I said earlier, 10th November. Shall I go to third phase, please? Sorry? Shall I go to third phase? Issue of notification, 13th October. 13th October, 13 October. Last date of nomination, 20th October, 20 October. Scrutiny of nomination, 21 October, 21st October. Last date of withdrawal of candidature, 23rd October, 23 October. Date of poll, 7th November, 7th November. Counting of votes, 10th November. To give you further glimpse of the magnitude of logistics to conduct elections during COVID, as per report received from CEO Bihar, more than 7 lakh units of hand sanitizers, about 46 lakh masks, about 6 lakh PPE kits, 7.6 lakh units of face shields, and about 23 lakh hand gloves have been arranged. For the voters, that is 77.2 crore single-use hand gloves have been specifically arranged when they press the EVM, etc. In the elections in Bihar, postal ballot facility has been extended as an option to senior citizens aged 80 and above. We were wanting to extend it to people from 65 and above. Political parties had their own views, but ultimately what clinched the argument of not going for that this time is that because of the increase in the number of polling stations, already our manpower requirements had increased so significantly that we realized we may not be able to manage the 65 part. So it remains 80 years. Persons with disability packed in the electoral roll and COVID-19 suspect or affected persons all shall be taken care of. Special protocol has been devised for electors who are COVID positive, suspect, quarantine, so that such citizens are able to exercise their franchise without in any way jeopardizing the health of other voters. COVID-19 patients who are quarantined will be able to cast their vote at the last day of the hour, poll day, at their respective polling stations, as I said earlier, under the supervision of health authorities, strictly following the laid down measures. This is besides the option of postal facility already extended to them. Nodal health officers will also be appointed at the state district level to oversee COVID-19 related arrangements and preventive measures during the entire electoral process. In order to further decongest polling spaces and allow more free movement of the voters, polling time has been increased. Polling time has been increased by 1 hour. Polling will now be held from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. instead of 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. earlier. However, this will not be applicable to the left-wing affected areas. Nomination form and affidavit can now be filled up online and printout submitted to RO. Offline is also allowed, but online is also been introduced. Besides all this, security money can also be deposited through online mode. Candidates can also seek electoral certification digitally. The number of persons accompanying a candidate for submission of nomination has been restricted to 2. I repeat 2. And the number of vehicles shall be restricted to 2. I repeat 2. Door-to-door campaigning has been restricted to 5 persons, including the candidate. Road shows are allowed, subject to the convoy being broken after every 5 vehicles. All election meetings and gatherings will have to adhere strictly to the health and safety protocols and shall be monitored at all levels by the election and health machinery in the field in the various districts of Bihar. I want to dispel doubts, friends, that all physical contact has been prohibited in election meetings and campaigning. Yes, we have stated that the number of people who can decongest who can congregate at a certain place has been limited. The DEOs shall identify dedicated grounds in advance where public gatherings can take place with social distancing norms clearly marked to ensure the safety of the attendants. Broad and detailed guidelines were issued by the Commission for the conduct of elections and by-elections during sometime in August 2020. These guidelines have already been adopted to Government of Bihar, and these guidelines are available on the ECI website and I think made available to most of you by Ashifaliji. Based on these broad guidelines, CEO Bihar was asked to prepare comprehensive plans at the state, district, constituency and booth level, considering the local conditions and COVID situation. And these guidelines establish standard protocols of sanitization, wearing of masks, use of gloves, thermal scanners, and social distancing throughout the gamut of election activities. assemblies. The first thing Commission has been insisting is that all polling stations should be located on the ground floor. Persons with disability would also be tagged to their respective polling stations and necessary arrangement made for their comfortable and convenient experience on polling day. Assistance of volunteers, priority voting, wheelchair and proper transport facilities shall be made available. They will be provided with a free pass on public transport on the poll day. The third meeting of the National Advisory Committee on Accessible Elections was organized recently through online mode in order to hone up and firm up our strategic action plans on accessible elections and to review preparations on accessibility front ahead of Bihar Assembly elections. The Commission guarantees assured minimum facilities, which you are all aware, at each polling station, including drinking water, toilets, waiting area and ramps. Additionally, polling stations will now be infused with sanitizers, masks, soap and water for rinsing and other necessary equipment to handle any health emergency. Volunteers will be deployed to assist PWD voters, senior citizens and COVID-affected areas, as I already said.